He began with a series of small but brilliant films: Brief Encounter, Great Expectations, Summertime. Then he enlarged his canvas. Bridge on the River Kwai, Lawrence of Arabia. He then made one of the most spectacular films of all time, Dr. Zhivago. His films have won 25 Academy Awards. His name is David Lean. And now, after 2 years of production for MGM, he is creating his most beautiful film, Ryan's Daughter, a story of love. Sarah Miles is Rosie Ryan, a dreamer, a wild romantic girl who falls in love with a very ordinary, gentle man. An unusual role for one of the screen's most dynamic performers, Robert Mitchum. The intense young actor Christopher Jones is Randolph, the brooding war hero who returns from the German front to fight a different kind of enemy. John Mills, Leo McKern, Trevor Howard. Three of the world's finest screen performers are the other major figures in the conflict of Rosie Ryan's life. It is a time of great change, and Rosie Ryan has become a woman in a society that cannot fulfill her needs. She is an enigma even to David Lean.
She expects God knows what out of life, some great romantic outcome. When she's about 19, she falls in love with her schoolmaster.
Charles Shaughnessy is the teacher who opened to Rosie a new world, with stories of Byron and Beethoven and the heroes of ancient times.
Because she has a good mind and she has a lot of imagination, because he taught her things, she imagines that he has all these qualities, that she's read into them. In fact, he hasn't. He's a very simple, ordinary chap.
Only after they marry does Rosie come to understand that he has no answers at all, and so she turns to another.
What more are you wanting now?
I don't know that either.
That's a lie.
What? How can I know? I don't even know what more there is.
Trevor Howard plays a priest. He's a tough peasant. He has no difficulty whatever in knowing what is right and wrong. He thinks he knows it all. Of course he doesn't. He hasn't got much imagination, but he's a good man. Leo McKern plays a pub keeper. He's a blusterer, great patriot, and he turns out to be an informer.
Bad luck to the British, success to the Germans, and a very good morning to you, Corporal.
John Mills is a half-wit. He doesn't have a line of dialogue to say. I think he gives an absolutely wonderful performance.
Trapped by her environment and the weakness of her people, unable to comprehend her growing needs as a woman, Rosie Ryan continues to search elsewhere for the experience of fulfillment.
And then another young man appears on the scene, Christopher Jones, actually. And of course they're in for it.
David Lean and his Academy Award-winning writer, Robert Bolt, spent months developing these characters and their story on paper, and transferring the words to film has taken almost 2 years. It began with an extensive search for a location. The films of David Lean are always inspired by the dramatic beauty of their settings. And for Ryan's Daughter, he found one of the most beautiful settings in the world. The forbidding aspect of the location is clearly reflected in the faces of the people and in their history of war, rebellion, and suffering. But then a village had to be found that would equally reflect the nature of their lives. With the same meticulous attention to detail, David Lean has constructed his entire film. The painstaking development of the script, the careful selection of the cast, sensitive enough to respond to the most exacting direction, the precise creation of every sequence, every scene, every shot. Like Bridge on the River Kwai, Ryan's Daughter deals with man's struggle against the forces of nature. Like Lawrence of Arabia, it is a study of the inner workings of the human mind. Like Dr. Zhivago, it is a story of love set against a background of war and revolution. Like any film by David Lean, it is a masterpiece.